It's an absolute no.
Yeah.
That marlin doesn't count.
Yeah.
Might as well be a garfish off the pier. Welcome, everybody, to The Deep Drop, a fishing podcast that asks lots and lots and lots of questions. It doesn't always have the answers or the right answers or any answers, but we have a crack anyway. I'm Luke McCredden, and with me, Adam Ring. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget to keep up to date with us on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast players that you prefer. Let's get stuck into it. Should there be a public trade show in Melbourne?
I would 100% like to see like a public trade show in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Luke, you and I have been fortunate enough over the years to have been to quite a few industry trade shows.
Yeah.
And basically the way that's set up, it's a wholesale trade show for all the retailers to come and have a look at all the new gear.
Yep.
And then basically they can plan and do all their stuff for the upcoming season.
Yeah.
Now, the last couple of years, there has been a public day where anyone from the public can purchase a ticket and come in and see all the new product. But I think that's a flawed system because that trade show is set up specifically for retailers to have a look at stock, not for the punter to come in and see what's happening.
That's right. It's a trade-only show initially.
It needs an entirely different setup. I would love to see one in Melbourne because as a tackle junkie, imagine walking around something like the exhibition centre where all the major wholesalers have set up booths for people to walk in and have a look at their product.
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
So the trade show you're talking about that is a trade show at the moment currently we're talking about AFTA, which is on the Gold Coast every year and is again and does have a public day. But it's one day, Gold Coast. So are you going to,
And it's a token public day.
Yeah. And you're right, it's not...
Let's tack on a day where people can come through and have a look. The shows, the wholesalers aren't setting up for someone from the public to come through and have a look.
So to paint the picture for people out there, and I think there would be a lot of people interested, to paint the picture, effectively, all your favourite suppliers in the fishing scene, all the big brands, every brand you can think of is there on full display, ultimately trying to get business, from the retailers and whatnot. So it's a really good spectacle, lots of colour, lots of more fishing gear than you could possibly imagine. So as far as that goes, sounds like a great thing for public to check out too. But, yeah, I think it needs to be its own thing.
Yeah.
I don't think tacking it onto a trade-only show is the right way about it. Now, whether it's worked or not at AFTA,
who knows?
I don't know. Yeah. But I definitely think there is something very exciting, even for us who have done it now for a long time and seen it from both sides of the party, from a buyer and a supplier's point of view. They're still kind of exciting when you walk in on the first day just to see everything laid out and whether it be, because you can't help it going there for work to go for a little bit of a shop as well.
Oh, 100%.
But so I can only imagine that there's punters out there, the kids, like I think about myself when I was a kid, like if I could walk into a showground experience and it was like all the biggest brands, Rapala are on display, Shimano on display, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I would love to see it in a setting where the suppliers, the wholesalers, these big fishing companies, I'd love to see it set up for the public to see what lengths people would go to turn it into a show. Because to peel back the curtain a little bit, and listen, the wholesalers go to great lengths and expense, I must say, to set up stands, but they're knowing full well it's for the retailer to come through and pick their stock. So they need to sell it, not showcase it, if that makes sense.
So I don't know if it's a concern, but I guess one issue that I can see that needs to be addressed is, would this public trade show be on not only on display, but would these suppliers be selling product?
No way.
So this is where I think you could make a case for the suppliers saying, well, why would we want to be a part of it?
Exactly.
And if they are, they're sure as shit going to be selling,
Yeah.
you know, and I just think that then would probably in turn make retailers alike sort of go, well, hang on, they're our customers.
Yeah. Oh, the retailer wouldn't buy
No.
it. No way.
No.
But could you argue by putting on that show and showcasing your product, ultimately that product is going to end up in the hundreds and thousands of stores around the country. So the money's going to end up in their pocket along the way.
The suppliers.
The supplier,
Yeah.
if they do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
It's a case of, you know, the consumers seeing it, can't get it, but it's a demand thing. So then they go to that's how it should work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where I sit with this. I think it'd be great. The tackle junkie and the little kid in me says, hell yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And let's, you know, expand Melbourne. Let's do all capital cities.
Yeah,
Sydney
that's right. Yeah, make it a roadshow.
Brisbane. Yeah. Don't worry about WA because whatever.
Tassie, what?
But the capital cities for sure. Like, why not? If that's the way you're going to go with it. But then there's so many layers to that too, as in the expense of doing.
It would be a horribly expensive thing.
So
to
those
put on.
suppliers, those brands would need to be seeing some return. That's where I think there could be a bit of muddied water because the only return they could get is by selling
Yeah.
while they're there. So for me, as much as I love the idea, it's a no. I don't think there should be public trade shows like that.
I don't think it will ever happen
Yeah.
for some of those obstacles that we said.
Yeah.
I would love for it to happen though.
Right. You'd be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be working there.
Not so supportive of that. No, but and the reason I would be so supportive of it is because ultimately, I think in a perfect world, end game, if it was to happen,
Yeah.
I think it would be quite valuable to the wholesalers in the long run.
Yep. Yep.
But it would have to be done properly. None of this half-assed, like we're just going to throw a few, you know what I mean? Like it's got to be a show. It needs to be an event. There needs to be people presenting things and giveaways and prizes.
Yep.
It really make it, I guess, an interactive show. But I don't think it'll ever happen.
No.
But I would love to see it.
All right. You're a yes, I'm a no. Let us know what you think. Would you love to attend a trade show like this?
Yeah, would you go?
I'm sure there'd be lots of people that would, but do you have concerns about it as well? Maybe there's some retailers out there listening that want to jump on and give us their thoughts.
Yeah,
because I think that's really, really valid too.
If you catch a really good fish on a charter or guided trip, does it take the shine off it a bit?
This fascinates me, this question, because there are ultimately people out there that will only ever fish on a guided trip or a charter, which is absolutely fine. That's what they're there for. To take the pride away from them of catching a meter barra on a guide is a bit harsh. But on the flip side, doing it solo or like doing it in your own boat or whatever, you know, it's pure ecstasy, something like that. And I'm just using that as an example. Does it take the shine off? Probably not fully, but I get the, the argument there is you're not really finding that fish to catch. It's not real. Is it? Am I being harsh? I think I'm being harsh.
I am so... The more I think about it, the more I'm changing my thought process.
I think I was just
honest.
constantly digging myself into a hole just then. The whole time I was talking, I was just like, what the fuck am I talking about?
As soon as I heard the question, straight away, my first thought was, fucking hope it does. But then as soon as you started talking, I'm like, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
I can't be that guy.
No.
Because I'm never going to own a boat in the Northern Territory to go and catch a barramundi.
Exactly. That's so true.
So
Yeah.
do we kind of need to break the question down to say, if old mate down the road owned a boat and fishes for snapper and was just struggling, so jumped on a charter and caught a PB, I'd be like, mate, don't want to hear it.
No, not if you owned a boat.
Yeah.
Get out there, mate. It's a really interesting question because for me, it's kind of like you can't like. I don't know how I'm going to say this without sounding like an asshole. I don't think you can fully claim that fish as like a mounted on your wall, have the photos blown up in big frames saying, hey, I went and caught that. You did, but you were on someone caught it for you.
So basically,
Yeah.
don't be a wanker about it.
Yeah. Oh, take photos. Send photos to your friends and family. Put it on social media and say, had a great day out.
Yeah, not, look at me, I'm King Dingling. I just smacked a big snapper or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel as though we're shitting on every person.
I feel really bad
that
about
fishes
this.
once a year and it's only on a charter boat.
I feel like, you're right. It's unfair on them.
Because my gut is still telling me that
But you know what?
It does take away from it a little bit.
Well, those people should just go and get a boat and catch a real fish. No, I'm joking. No, it's a tough one. You can't. But then could you argue that with, like, say you took me out on your boat and we caught fish? So technically you're my guide for the day. If we want to get technical about it, just because
I'm not paying you any money for it though. Because if you expect money, you can get fucked.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I thought we were mates.
Well, I think maybe then what we need to do is just sort of, if you're a regular angler, don't go.
Well, if you own your own boat.
Yeah, but why are you going out on a charter if you own your own boat?
Well, it might be for a work breakup or a
but
bucks party.
you're out there getting pissed.
True. But you still might luck out.
If you own your own boat and you're paying for a charter, that's
a different question.
Something not right.
Write that down. Add it to the list.
That's not okay.
Add it to the list.
Okay. I think we need to...
This is really tough. Like, I'm going to need some proper convincing either way because I hate my own answer.
Yeah.
But I can't ignore it.
What is it? Because you've jumped around.
Yeah. Oh no, my gut feeling is it's not a big a deal.
All right.
And I don't know why. That sounds like I'm being a wanker.
No, I think it's fair. No, but
it's an asterisk answer.
Yeah, all right. It's a fence-sitting answer. But I think that the point that was brought up about the Northern Territory, Barramundi, for example, not many people are towing their own boats up there and doing that, even if they're boat owners here or in the southern part of the country. Much the same as WA. Like, WA is like a couple of planets away from here.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really towing a boat over there.
No.
Not many people do that. People do it. It's great, but not. It's not really what you. So it's really hard. I think we probably kind of.
We're being harsh.
You almost need to really tear that apart and say, if you're a boat owner in Sydney and you get a charter in Sydney, no, mate.
Yeah. I don't want to see your charter by Kingfish.
It's an absolute no.
Yeah.
That marlin doesn't count.
Yeah.
Might as well be a garfish off the pier. Just. So I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're traveling somewhere like I've fished New Zealand.
Yeah.
It's some of the best fishing ever. All of a sudden, am I putting a dampener on some of my own captures because I was with a guide?
Yeah, you know what though? I think my answer depends on how much you carry on.
Yeah, okay.
With you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If I went on if a bunch of mates said, "Oh, well, I've organised a charter, jump on board."
Mm.
Yeah, sweet. Put a few photos up from the trip. Got some good fish.
Yeah.
But if I go on that charter and catch like a 7 kilo red, and then bang on social media like I'm the best snapper fisherman in the world, I'm sorry, you're a wanker.
No, you're a wanker. Yep. Okay. All right. I think we agree with that.
So your direction, basically the way you carry on is going to dictate my answer.
Yeah. Nice. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah.
Good.
But my gut feeling is it's not as good.
What's the acceptable time to crack the first can on a fishing trip?
I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I'll come clean. I'm an angler that's enjoyed an ale on the boat. Don't go too overboard.
No.
You know what I mean?
We don't want people hurting themselves or doing the wrong thing. We promote safety.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah. Have a crack when you can.
Yeah. So my answer, and please unpack this because it's people are going to think less of me after my answer. I think first fish on the boat, first can.
Oh.
And I don't care if that first fish comes at 6 a.m.
Okay, there's a lot of variables here, and this is where it's horses for courses. So if you're, and this is my thoughts, if you're out for the day, it's a Thursday morning, you've taken the morning off work, me and you're out, you're probably not even taking cans. Oh, are you? You're looking at me like you are. Okay. Well, you're taking a few, right? Whatever. But if you're on a 3-4 day trip up north or anywhere, wherever, it's brekkie beers.
Yeah.
It is acceptable. I'm not saying you have to do. I'm saying that's acceptable, isn't it?
So what's your answer?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's varied. It depends where you are, what you're doing. I think the question is what time is acceptable.
When is it acceptable to crack the? We're not saying like start the drinking session.
No. When is it acceptable? AM.
Yeah. I like it.
AM.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's acceptable. Then it all depends on your situation as to how early in the AM and how much.
Well, the how much is up to the individual.
Yeah, and be responsible.
Because I must admit, I've never ever been blind on a boat.
No, me either. And it does not interest me one bit.
No,
being
same.
serious. I couldn't think of anything worse.
Same, but I'm
Off the
always
boat.
happy.
Different story.
I'm always happy to celebrate the first fish with a can, regardless of the time.
Can I give the listeners a bit of an insight into yourself and me?
Oh, 100%.
We have had 7 a.m. beers.
Right.
It was a
Light beers.
mid-strength. It was a mad session on Snapper
Oh, yeah.
with a dear friend of ours, and it was rude not to.
Yeah.
Rude.
It
not
just
to.
seemed like the right
when
thing
you're
to do.
snapper fishing in the bay, you're on the water at 4 or 5 in the morning. So
Yeah.
by 7, it's like basically midday,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I like your logic.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I think acceptable. I'm accepting anything. AM's fine. Do it responsibly. Don't be
Yeah.
silly about it.
Yeah, I think the issue is that, let's face it, I think the issue with most fishermen is the first can generally it's the start of the session.
It results in a big session.
But say me and you, for example, we never take that many beers.
No.
There might be a 6-pack of beers between 3 people.
Yeah. A charter, lots of charter boats get hired out and there's a lot of grog bought on those boats. But they're not
They're not there to they're not really there to go.
No, but they're also not they're not responsible for anything
No.
except for falling overboard. Whatever. So I think it's okay AM.
Yeah, first fish.
What if that first fish really comes late in the day?
Well,
Can you break that rule
yeah,
because
but-
you're feeling
no.
like shit?
Well, yeah, but so this is where it's a good question because the general rule, as far as I'm concerned, is first fish.
Yep.
But there's always a fuck it, I give up time.
Yeah. AM.
I am. Thank you, everyone, for listening to The Deep Drop. And don't forget to jump on Instagram and let us know what you think about the topics that we just discussed. It's always a bit of fun. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode of The Deep Drop. We look forward to hearing your input and we'll speak to you again soon.